Hey everyone, Dr. Alan Christianson here, and today I am especially excited to be joined with my really good friend, Dr. Izabella Wentz. And this is one more in the series about the top health experts. You know, my friends that I get to hang out with. You hear their content, you read their books, you follow their blogs, and we're always curious, what do people really do themselves for their own health? So I'm going to ask Dr. Wentz about what are the biggest things that stress her adrenals, and then more importantly, what are the biggest factors she's found, whether it's a mindset or a supplement or a dietary routine or a food or you name it, exercise routine. What's the biggest needle mover to keep her on track and sane? So Dr. Wentz, this is a blast to have you here.
So excited to see you, Dr. Christianson. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. Even better now that I'm seeing you. So in terms of all that you're up to and all that you're doing, what do you think is the biggest single factor still that you find can really challenge your health or push you out of balance?
You know, Dr. C, as you know, sleep deprivation is one of the biggest and fastest ways to get into adrenal fatigue. And my adrenals have been a challenge for me on and off for, a long time. And when I get to the point where I'm overworking and I'm doing too much caffeine and I'm not getting enough rest, that's when I start feeling my adrenals slipping up. So that would be the biggest thing. And, stress, if I have a lot of projects happening, if I have book deadline coming up or something else like that happening, that can really get me stressed out. So I would say basically stress and sleep deprivation are two of the biggest things that cause my adrenals to get a little bit out of whack.
You know, I wouldn't lead anyone with this. I want everyone to answer things in their own way. But that has been a really strong theme among the health experts. I think a lot of us have gotten to a place to where we know the basic things not to do, but they're still doing too much. And so your input is consistent with what many others have said. So let's spend a little more time on the good part of that. So what's the biggest thing you find that keeps you on track, that really keeps you in balance through all of it?
Really yoga. So yoga is something that I really enjoy, and going to yoga class a few times a week kind of helps me break up the cycle of, working too hard and doing too much stuff. It puts me in a really nice, relaxed space during the class, after the class, and for a few hours after the class as well. I also really like going hiking. So just finding stuff that I can do with my husband, with my dog, with my family. Really, really enjoying these activities that are not work-related, not related to writing books or blogs or anything like that. Just taking time for myself, hanging out with loved ones, doing a hot bath, getting a massage. So really just caring for myself and doing the things that I love, bring balance in my life.
That's cool. And the first that came up was yoga. Is that something that's been newer for you? You've been into for a while, or?
I've been doing yoga since I was probably, I won't tell you how old I am, but for 20 years now. So, and I've loved it, and I'll go through periods of time where I'll have yoga in my life and then I won't. And whenever I have yoga in my life is when I feel my best and I feel my happiest and more relaxed. And in strange ways, I'm also more productive. So even though I take time away from working or projects, whatnot, I still feel better and I'm more productive.
So let's get a little more depth. So this is really tactical for people. So what do you think about like a practice at home, classes? What are your feelings between the two of those? Or
if anybody can practice at home, I really envy them, because some people just remember their routines and they remember all of that. I'm the kind of person that has two left feet and doesn't remember routines. So I actually really
I can't believe that.
I'll see sometime. So I'm the person that really thrives from going to a group class, because I'm surrounded by all the wonderful energy of the people around me, and then there's good music, and then they kind of have you slow down and breathe. And when you're doing things at home, your phone can ring. I have a little dog that likes to do the downward dog on me. I'm trying to do yoga. For me, it's really nice to kind of get away from home and go to a class, but I know other people have done yoga just in their own homes and they found it just as beneficial.
So there's also different styles or types of yoga. What have you found are your personal favorites? Or?
I really like vinyasa yoga, which is kind of like a slow and steady yoga where you go through different poses and you have to really concentrate and you have to balance. And so you can't really think about any kind of deadlines or projects or, somebody that got you mad at the grocery store or whatnot when you're doing that, because you really have to be focused. Otherwise, you might lose balance and fall. So
over.
that's one I really like. I also like hot power yoga, which can be a little bit more advanced. And that just puts me in a really great mood. Every time I, go to a hot power yoga class, I just come back refreshed and just full of energy.
Do you have a favorite time of day that seems to work best for you for doing your yoga classes? Or
10:30 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of get up and do my thing for a little while, and I like to go at the beginning of the day, and it just puts my day in a really positive light. It just makes me very happy. I know not everybody has that luxury of being able to do that in the middle of the day if they work 9 to 5. So, going on the weekends in the morning may work for some. And when I was working 9 to 5, I did after work as well. And that was amazing too.
You still found that helpful then, even different time frames?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you said 4 times a week is your favorite frequency? Or
I'll usually go 3 times a week,
okay.
And then I'll do hiking like twice a week if it's nice outside.
Okay.
So, and it just, makes you feel really relaxed and feel good in your own skin. You feel like you've used your muscles and you've used your body. And the nice thing is you get to see progress too. So that little pose that you were having a hard time with, a few weeks ago, you keep doing it and you're consistent with it, and all of a sudden it becomes easier. And you learn to breathe through the tough times. That kind of translates into daily life as well.
Wow. Really cool stuff. So Dr. Izabella Wentz, the worldwide thyroid pharmacist, and yoga is the trick. Vinyasa 3 times a week or so, and mid-morning or whenever can probably work out well. So that's great. Super, super helpful.
Absolutely. And then as for things that I try not to do is I actually have to cut back caffeine if my adrenals are under stress.
Okay.
That's a really big thing for me is if I'm feeling them stressed is when I'll go cold turkey on caffeine.
Do you know anything about like your genotype as far as clearance, being more sensitive to it or not? Or
you know what? I'm just having them tested. I just sent away the test kit last week because I was wondering the same thing. If I'm somebody who's more caffeine sensitive. I know you had that test, right?
I'm the worst caffeine sensitive. And that's not true for everyone. There's others that do fine with it. But yeah, I totally resonate with you on that.
It's like, I think I'm doing better with the caffeine. The caffeine makes me feel like it gives me more energy, but when it doesn't. It just makes me more tired. And then when I get off of the caffeine, I'll just do hot lemon water in the mornings, and then I have more energy than when I do drink the caffeine. So that's been very helpful for me, is just to know that I need to cut back on caffeine if I'm ever feeling stressed out.
So avoiding the caffeine, lots of yoga. Got it. Good stuff. Thank you so much for taking some time to join us and tell us your biggest insights. And we'll give links about how you can all see more about Dr. Wentz and keep on top of her work. And we'll talk more with you real soon.
Thank you so much, Dr. Christianson. It's been a pleasure.